be on YouTube.
You might.
Great.
This is more for the Respect Life.
Well, I was on Vatican Radio the other day, so I guess this isn't.
This is a definite downgrade, so.
Well, that's all right. So for the last 20 years, I've been with the diocese. Our office was consolidated and renamed under Bishop Dorsey as the Respect Life Office, and then through the synod process under Bishop Wensky, now Archbishop, we are the Office of Advocacy and Justice. And I think it was you who, I'm sorry, what was your name again?
Lois.
Lois, right. Lois had mentioned there a little bit of confusion within the parishes and different names, and we had no control over that. It was decided that our office name needed to reflect more the work we do and the issues we cover, which I think that's a positive. Any way you can make things more clear for people is fine with me, and so it was the bishop's decision to change the name. In our parishes, these ministries, aging, disabilities for life, social justice, come under a variety of different titles or umbrellas, as in your parish, it's what, social concerns, and some others it's outreach ministry or whatever. And that's fine with us because every parish is organized in their own way to meet their own needs. Our agenda has not changed over those last 20 years. It's always been to educate the parishes on the full social mission of the church, on Catholic social teaching, those fundamental principles of life and dignity of the human person. That's our first and primary responsibility. Our second responsibility is to advocate for changing unjust laws and policies. And so we do that by going to the Catholic Days at the Capitol under the direction of the Florida bishops, and Barbara has been with us and many of the CCW, and we would like to see more of you there every year. Next year it's going to be March 19th and 20th. We want to see a fabulous Catholic representation from our diocese. Last year I think we had 60 people. We'd love to double that. We do that also by writing letters to our legislators. Some of you mentioned the different petitions that, if something percolates up from the parish, like the petition from St. Maximilian Kolbe, we will send it out there. If you have good programs, projects, things you want to announce, we'll help educate the community, the other parishes on what you're doing. We're working with Marco Rubio on the whole religious liberty issue. We were going to have a press conference with him, but right at the date we were going to do that, back when this was really in the news a lot, they changed the mandates slightly, and so it threw us all off kilter until we could really look at whether it was a change or not. And so we want to do another press conference with him, and we'll probably do that over the summer during this initiative that I mentioned earlier, so I won't go into that.
If he's not named VP by then. If he's not named VP by then.
Oh, whatever. We'll just keep working on it. But anyway, our focus is education and advocacy. And we do meet locally with our legislators, both the congressmen and legislators in our state. So if you ever want to come with us when we meet with them, we're always sending out invitations. We encourage you to participate. I wanted to just mention a couple of things specifically because we have tons and tons of programs. And if you go to our website, you can find out everything you want to know just about anything we do. Right now, our focus is on the religious liberty issue, and we support efforts like the Pro-Life Action Ministry for the rallies. We did not sponsor them, but we encouraged folks like you and others in the parishes to support those efforts. And we do that with several other types of things that go on in the community. If it's something that we're already involved with and you've got another group that's doing something like that, we'll help support that. We do want to get a Gabriel project off the ground. It covers many of the things that you're already doing. When you talk about supplies for women who are pregnant, support for families, trying to refer them to get the resources they need so they can keep their families intact. It's a whole program, that we would like to get established in some of our parishes that have not been successful at doing it. And obviously Gabriel, meaning the angel Gabriel, protecting and comforting and bringing support, that network of support to a woman or family in crisis. Also, so I want you to think about that, and if you'd like more about it, please contact us. We would like to partner with Pro-Life Action Ministry to do a sidewalk counseling, or even if it's just a dialogue on those who are very passionate and interested in sidewalk counseling ministry and a technique, so that we can talk about ways we can work together, number one, and do some effective strategizing and effective training. We would be very open to that. We also want to recruit people for sidewalk counseling because it's a very important ministry. We have not done a lot in that area as yet. Our rosary processions are modeled after Monsignor Philip Riley, if you're familiar with his Helpers of God's Most Precious Infants ministry. And we trained several years ago. We had him come down here and we did a training on that whole focus of that ministry, which includes rosary processions, so the prayer, and sidewalk counseling. We never moved to the sidewalk counseling part of that because my objective so far in these past few years is just to get our Catholics out on the street praying and being a witness. And I'm still struggling with that. And it's getting better. Every year we get more and more people, especially when the bishop's out there. But we always go out the first Saturday of the month. And under that ministry, it's just strictly a prayer and witness. And if we can get people comfortable going to the facilities, then I'm hoping we'll recruit people who are passionate and who will want to do sidewalk counseling. But I can't move them from A to B. You have to move them slowly. But certainly we should be working together and dialoguing on ways we can better do those kinds of ministries of outreach in the community. I wanted to let you know, maybe many of you have heard, there is a blessing that was approved by the Vatican for the unborn child. It has been approved finally after years.
Yeah, awesome.
But it won't be officially released until Mother's Day, around Mother's Day. So you should look forward to seeing that. We will send it out. If you're on our e-newsletter, you'll receive it. If you're not, just contact our office down at the Chancery, and we'll put you on our newsletter. The main reason I want to talk to you today about is the amendments that are coming up on the ballot that the bishops have a position on, Amendment 6 and 8. Are you familiar with those amendments? No, yes, maybe. All right, 6 and 8. 6 is the amendment that they're putting a label on is protect taxpayers and support parental rights. The bishops are working with this coalition of groups, Citizens for Protecting Taxpayers and Parental Rights, to get this initiative, this campaign out in the public, because come the election, there's going to be a lot of pushback by those groups that don't support our position against it. So you're going to hear a lot of rhetoric that's confusing, and they're going to come out with all kinds of arguments. Why this is a bad thing? And it's going to confuse the public, as always. They're going to get to the polls, the voting polls, and not know what to do. So it's very simple. It's yes on 6 and yes on 8. Now, what does 6 say? Bottom line, Amendment 6 deals with the clause in our Florida Constitution. Who was here in the 80s and voted for the privacy clause? Yeah, remember that? That's so great. The government won't be getting into our medical records and sharing information. Yes, I'm going and voting for that, right? All it did was codify the right to abortion.
Really?
Yes. So serious is this, that even if we overturn Roe v. Wade, our state would guarantee the right for a person to have their abortion and keep it private because it's part of a medical procedure. So,
Under the Griswold Supreme Court.
Read all of the rhetoric and the issues, and you need to be knowledgeable about these points, talking points, because you have to talk to people. But the bottom line is, all we're doing, despite any arguments on the other side, we're making our state constitution consistent with the U.S. Constitution. So we're striking that clause in our Constitution. You don't have to go any farther than that. Just say, we're just trying to be consistent with the U.S. Constitution, because it doesn't have that particular wording in the Constitution. On the other side, Amendment 8, dealing with religious freedom. Well, we're talking a lot about religious liberty today, and the rallies, and the bishops have a campaign now. You were here, Michelle, when we announced that the U.S. bishops have a new campaign during the summer, ending with Independence Day, to really focus attention on religious liberty. Well, in our state, we have a clause, another clause in our Constitution that was passed back in the 1800s. This congressman named Blaine went around the country and was discriminating, discriminating particularly against Catholic institutions. It was a very anti-Catholic mindset. And I think it was 18 or so states have adopted this clause in their state constitutions that's discriminatory, saying something like, if you're a faith-based organization, you cannot receive federal funds. It hasn't been an issue in the past, even though it was passed in our state constitution, because no one has contested it. This is going to be an issue when groups like ACLU and other groups who don't support the work we do, our efforts to our Catholic charities, Catholic hospitals, even our schools. I was in Palm Bay and talking to a pastor at a meeting down there, and he said, if this is not stricken from the Florida Constitution and somebody wants to contest it, it would close down our Catholic school, because we have lots of kids who are receiving government subsidies to go to the school. So, and it's not just a Catholic issue. There's Jewish family services, there's the Muslims have programs, social service programs. It's all faith-based groups, can be targeted, taken to court, and if their funding is removed, it effectively closes down religious institutions from operating. So it's a very important issue, and it ties in with the bigger religious liberty issue, which ties into the whole secularization of society, removing God from society, which is the bigger issue of all of this. So it's something very, very important that we have to attend to. And I know you're working on lots of programs in your parishes, but if you don't work on this, if we don't educate our community on the devastation that not removing these clauses from our state constitution, really doesn't matter about the other things that we do. And again, on Amendment 8, bottom line is we're making it consistent with the U.S. Constitution. Because the U.S. Constitution doesn't have the Blaine Amendment incorporated into it. So very important that you understand those and you research them. Don't just take what I'm saying. Research it on the internet. There's a lot of information.
How will this get disseminated in our parishes?
Well, the Florida Catholic Conference, as I said, is working with this statewide group. There will be a whole campaign with materials, all these materials. This is just a handout right now. Materials will be coming to the parishes. I'm available under the umbrella of Faithful Citizenship. I will come to your groups, CCW, parish groups. I'll be happy to come out and talk to you. Annunciation is holding a Faithful Citizenship Forum in September or October. We don't have a date yet, but if you just want to talk to any group in your parish, these will be available. There'll be a lot of resources available, and the bishop, of course, will be sending out under his signature information.
And these have to be disseminated quickly, because since they're amendments, they don't pass unless they get a supermajority. You need 60% to get these in. So we can't just put these in the bulletin the week before Election Day. It's got to be a whole spread and campaign, evangelize about it.
It's my understanding that the Florida Catholic Conference will have these materials available, I'm pretty sure by May. They should be all up on their website, so you can go to their website.
We have these nice movie screens in our church, and they would be perfect for getting these type of messages out, especially during the Mass for everybody to see. Is there a way possibly, because Larry had sent me this 3-minute video on a commercial that the church put out about the issue about our freedom and our faith and the mandate and stuff like that. And I think it would be an excellent opportunity to show this to everybody in the church, get this sort of information out, to even talk and speak about things like this by using the instruments that we have available to us.
So you're saying is there a DVD available?
Is there something where, like, for instance, the bishop comes out when they do the basic deal and they speak to us? Why not do this? Will they do the same thing by addressing the congregations, no matter what? I mean, everywhere.
But you're saying specifically a visual, a DVD?
A visual
Yes,
DVD
yes.
for people
Yeah.
to sit there and see.
Okay, I will ask, yeah, I will ask the bishop if he would do that.
I mean, if it's not just in our area, but all over.
I don't know if they're going to have that as a resource, like a little visual, but I'll find out.
But that video that Larry sent an email out, it was an awesome video. I mean, it's the type of thing you sit there and look at and like, yeah, you know, that's what we need. That's what we need to see.
Yeah.
And then that needs to be shown in the churches. That needs for everybody to see.
I'll
Yeah.
ask him
And
to do that.
And if you want it at the masses, liturgically, it has to be the bishop that does it. It has to be the ordained minister who's in charge, who has authority of the parish and diocese. So,
Along those same lines.
sorry, got it. Guidelines.
One of the suggestions that was sent to us by a couple that could not be here this morning was along those same lines, that we had the bishop given a very great appeal for the annual bishop's drive. Why couldn't we do the same thing for this kind of information, as well as issues that relate to elections, that relate to life, whatever? I mean, they have a captive audience. We have the videos at many parishes. I mean, when the bishop speaks, people listen.
As I said, I'll be happy to ask. I don't see why not. It could be that's already part of the package of materials, because oftentimes, back when we did the human trafficking issue, the bishops did a visual. So I don't see why we
The
wouldn't.
point
quick
is that
question.
this could be used a lot more than it's being used.
Right.
Where?
On these faithful citizenship.
Right, but they're saying, she was saying that there are these resources at the Faithful Citizenship website, but that's dealing more with faithful citizenship. They're talking about the religious liberty thing right now, but I'll ask
Yeah,
about it.
but it's
So-
not just that. What you have to do is you have to tell people, hey, just like I told you to go to the website about this movie or whatever, you have to tell people to go to this website. And like what Jamie mentioned, well, I forgot when I left and stuff like that.
Yeah.
This way, it's sitting out there. Everybody now sees it, and it's on their mind.
Yeah, I don't have any objection to that. I'll bring it up if it hasn't already been thought of by the Florida bishop.
And when you bring it up to the bishop, how would you like us to support you in this? Would it be beneficial for us to send an email to you as well, saying we like this suggestion, and then?
Because I don't think it would be a problem. I'm
Okay.
sure they'll be receptive.
Okay.
Again, I don't know what, the Florida bishops may have already planned that. As I said, they did this
Okay.
whole campaign on human trafficking and that included a visual, like DVD. So I'm assuming they're gonna probably do the same thing. If not, I will approach the bishop and say, can we do this?
Cool. Thank you.
Any other questions? Because I'm sure my time is way over.
Anything else? Okay, Deborah's email is listed, I think on your information sheet, so if you have any questions, contact her. Deborah, we thank you, and again, you're very supportive of the cause.